In our next section here, we're going to be going over perimeter and area in the coordinate plane. Right? So obviously there are some prerequisite skills that we need to do work in a coordinate plane. Okay, so it's kind of a nice reminder of maybe some distance formula or slope or some stuff here that we need to be comfortable with in this particular section. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, so it says use the slope formula to determine the slope of each line. Okay, now again, there's always a few different ways that you can find slope. You can find it just using your graph by rise over run. So for example, if I wanted to find the slope of segment AB, all right, I could just see to go from A to B, I need to rise 3, and that's going to go in my numerator, and I have to run 2. And since I'm going to the right, that's going to be positive, right? So I can see it's 3 over 2. Okay. Obviously, my other option here is to know that my ordered pair here is going to be for A, it's -3, +1. Okay, and for B, it is -1, +4. Okay, and so I could also just use the slope formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I better just go through that here too, just so we're comfortable with this, right? So our slope is going to be equal to y2 minus y1. Let's just do b to a. So I'll do 4 minus 1, and that will be all over x2 minus x1 will be -1 minus a -3. Okay, and that will obviously give us again 3 over 2. Okay, which is our slope of AB. All right, we can do the same thing for line CD here. So if I want to do it by rise over run, I could say that segment CD, excuse me, it's not a line, it's a segment. Okay, CD is going to, let's see, we rise 1 and we run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can say that this is going to be a slope of 1 over 6. Okay, or I could just go ahead and use our slope formula here. So this looks like -2 here for C. Okay, and this for D, it looks like a 4 and -1. Okay, and so I will just find the slope this way as well. So I'll do, let's see, D to C here. So I'll do -1 minus a -2. And that will be all over, I'll do now 4 minus a -2. Okay, 1 minus a -2, that's just going to give me a +1 here, and then this will give me a 6, right? So I see that my slope is 1/6. Okay, and again, we can do that through the picture, or we can actually use the formula for slope. Okay, now the final thing that we want to go through is how to multiply radicals here. So this is extremely important. Okay, so really I like to think of these numbers underneath the radicals. I like to think of them as x's. All right, so how would you do 7x times 2x? Well, you do 7 times 2 would give you 14, and then x times x would give you x squared. All right, well, it's not that different for this, okay? The 7 times 2 is going to give us 14, and the radical 3 times the radical 3 is going to give us radical 9, okay? Now, we actually know what radical 9 is. We know that that is 3, right? So I really just say now this is actually just 14 times 3, and from this point on, I should be able to find my answer quite easily, right? So I can just take, whether it be a calculator or by hand, like 14 times 3. Don't really feel like doing that in my head right now. I think it's 42, but yeah, it is. So we can say that 42 would be our final answer here. Okay. Again, I hope these skills prove to be helpful as we go through these problems in this particular section, and we'll get started here in the next video.